What if everything you loved, everything that defined you, was swept away by a force of nature beyond your control? Robbin, a young and playful horse, ran joyfully across the open meadow, his mane flowing in the wind. His owner, always by his side, smiled with a sense of peace that could last forever. Their bond was unbreakable, and life was perfect. But sometimes, life has a way of changing without warning. The sky shifted. What seemed like a light breeze quickly grew into a violent, suffocating gust. A storm was brewing, and it wasn't just any storm. It was a tsunami of chaos. Dark clouds swallowed the sun, and in the blink of an eye, the peaceful meadow turned into a raging battlefield of nature. Lightning struck the ground with deafening cracks of thunder, and the winds roared like an untamed beast. The first wave hit with the force of a flood, washing away everything in its path. Robbin's owner shouted, struggling to hold on to him, but the storm was relentless. Rain came pouring down in torrents, and the once calm meadow transformed into a swirling river. Robbin, swept off his feet by the rising waters, tried to fight against the current, but it was no use. The floodwaters surged, separating him from his owner. In an instant, Robbin was dragged away by the current, powerless against the storm's fury. He struggled to stay afloat, but everything he knew, everything he loved, was disappearing into the floodwaters. His owner's voice faded into the distance as Robbin was pulled farther and farther away, lost in the wild. Would Robbin survive the storm? Would he ever find his way back to the one person who meant everything to him? Or was this the end of their journey together? The world around him was a dangerous unknown, and Robbin was left with only one question. Would he ever see his owner again? Have you ever woken up and realized your world had completely changed? Robbin opened his eyes to an unfamiliar sight, a dense, shadowy forest. The storm that had torn his life apart was gone, but its memory clung to him like a cold wind. His body ached, his coat was soaked, and his heart raced as he took in the eerie silence around him. Where was the meadow? Where was his owner? He called out, his neigh echoing through the towering trees. But there was no response. Only the unsettling sounds of the wild answered him, distant howls, rustling leaves, and strange whispers that seemed to come from nowhere. The once playful and safe world he knew had vanished, replaced by an untamed wilderness filled with unseen dangers. Robbin hesitated, his instincts pulling him in every direction. The forest felt alive, watching his every move. Each step he took was uncertain, the ground uneven and unfamiliar. Hunger clawed at him, fear whispered in his mind, but he had to move. Staying still meant giving in to the wild, and Robbin wasn't ready to give up. What lay beyond the trees? Could he find his owner? Or was he truly alone, forced to survive in this harsh, unknown world? As the shadows of the forest deepened, Robbin took a shaky step forward. His journey had only just begun, but the road ahead seemed impossible. Would he find his way, or would the wilderness claim him forever? What would you do if survival meant running from death itself? Robbin's steps were cautious as he wandered deeper into the forest, each rustle of leaves setting his nerves on edge. Suddenly, a low growl broke the stillness. His ears perked and his body froze. Out of the shadows emerged a pack of wild wolves, their eyes glowing like embers in the dark. They moved silently, their growls growing louder as they closed in. Robbin's heart raced. He knew he couldn't fight them. He wasn't built for battle. Without hesitation, he bolted, his hooves pounding the ground as he ran. The wolves chased after him, their howls echoing in the night. The forest seemed to twist and turn, branches clawing at him as he pushed himself to the limit. But desperation isn't always enough. In his frantic escape, Robbin's hoof caught on a hidden root, and he tumbled hard to the ground. Pain shot through his leg as he tried to stand, but the injury slowed him down. The wolves were closing in, their growls louder, their teeth bared. Was this the end? Robbin struggled, his mind racing for a way out. Could he outsmart the predators? Or was the forest about to claim another victim? As he lay there, injured and vulnerable, the flicker of hope in his eyes refused to die. Even in the face of danger, Robbin's spirit burned with the will to survive. But would it be enough? How does one fight when the odds are stacked against them? Robbin's injury slowed him, but it couldn't stop his will to survive. Each step he took in the unfamiliar forest was a painful reminder of his vulnerability, yet the fire within him burned brighter. The once playful horse now had to face a new world, one filled with relentless hunger and an eerie silence that magnified his loneliness. The forest wasn't kind. The leaves and twigs beneath his hooves crackled as he searched for food, alerting unseen predators. Nights were the worst, dark, cold, and filled with haunting sounds of creatures prowling nearby. Hunger gnawed at him, and thirst became a constant companion. The sweet grass of the meadow was replaced by bitter leaves and dry bark, but Robbin didn't complain. Shelter was no easier. He found himself cowering beneath towering trees, their shadows stretching like dark guardians over his fragile body. Every rustle felt like a threat, every distant howl a countdown to danger. Yet, amidst the fear, something in Robbin began to change. Could he adapt? Could he survive in a world that had turned its back on him? Day by day, the fear of failure gave way to determination. The forest may have been his enemy, but it also became his teacher. It pushed him to find strength he never knew he had. But in a place where survival means constant struggle, how long could Robbin's spirit hold out? The journey was far from over, and the stakes were higher than ever. Could this be his chance to find a family again? In the vast, silent wilderness, Robbin's eyes catch movement, a small herd of wild horses grazing peacefully in the distance. His heart leaps with hope, a flicker of the warmth he once felt with his owner. Maybe, just maybe, this was the connection he so desperately needed. With cautious steps, Robbin approaches. He longs to join them, to hear the comforting sound of hooves beside his own. But as he draws near, the herd freezes. Their eyes, sharp and wary, lock onto him. Their leader, a powerful stallion, steps forward with a warning snort. Robbin feels the weight of their judgment. He tries to communicate, lowering his head in submission, hoping they'll see he means no harm. But they remain distant, their bond unbroken, their circle closed to outsiders. As he takes another step forward, the stallion charges, forcing Robbin to retreat. Rejection stings deeper than the loneliness he's already endured. Will he ever belong again? The sight of the herd disappearing into the trees is a cruel reminder of what he's lost. But Robbin doesn't give up hope. Somewhere, he believes, there's a place for him, a family that will accept him. Or is he destined to walk this lonely path forever? What keeps a heart alive when the world feels so big and empty? For Robbin, it's a single thought: his owner. With every step, he clings to the hope that the bond they shared is still waiting somewhere beyond the endless forest. The journey is exhausting. Trees stretch endlessly in every direction, their shadows thick and unwelcoming. Robbin's hooves ache, and hunger gnaws at him, but he presses on, driven by a force stronger than pain: love. Nights in the wilderness are the hardest. The wind howls like ghosts, and the stars seem far, far away. Each time Robbin closes his eyes, he sees his owner's face, hears their laughter, yet questions haunt him. Is he chasing something that no longer exists? Has his owner moved on or forgotten him? These doubts claw at him, but Robbin refuses to give in. Every sound, every scent carries a spark of hope. What if the next bend in the path brings him closer? The search for home isn't just a journey across the land, it's a battle to keep his heart alive. Can Robbin find the strength to keep going, or will the weight of the unknown break him? As Robbin's hope begins to waver, fate takes a surprising turn. In a quiet clearing, he meets an old horse with a coat streaked gray from years of hardship. The elder stands calm and composed, his eyes filled with a wisdom that only comes from a lifetime of survival. "Lost, are you?" the old horse asks, his voice low but steady. Robbin hesitates, unsure whether to trust this stranger, but desperation pushes him to nod. The elder doesn't press. Instead, he shares stories of his own struggles, of storms he weathered and dangers he overcame. Slowly, Robbin feels his guard lower. The elder begins teaching him how to navigate the wild, the best places to find water, how to listen for approaching predators, and even ways to mask his scent. Robbin, eager to learn, follows closely, grateful for this unexpected guide. But a seed of doubt lingers. Why would this horse, a survivor hardened by the wilderness, help a stranger like him? What does he stand to gain? Questions churn in Robbin's mind, but for now he focuses on the lessons, hoping this ally is truly what he seems. Is this newfound friendship a blessing in disguise, or could it lead Robbin into even greater danger? In a world so unpredictable, trust is as fragile as the bonds that tie them together. The bond between Robbin and the old horse grows stronger as they journey through the unforgiving wild. Yet, with every shared lesson and story, a shadow of uncertainty looms. One night, as they rest beneath the eerie glow of a crescent moon, the old horse speaks of a place whispered about in hushed tones, a sanctuary where lost animals like Robbin are taken. They call it the Valley of Hope, the elder says, his voice both solemn and mysterious. A place where the weak are sheltered, where the lost are found. Robbin's ears perk up, his heart quickening at the thought of a safe haven. Could this be where his owner might search for him? But then, the old horse's tone shifts. Few have ever made it there. Some say it's just a myth. Others say it's guarded by dangers worse than the wolves you ran from. Robbin listens intently, his mind racing with questions. If this place is real, could it lead him back to the life he's lost? Or is the old horse spinning tales to distract him, to lead him astray? The elder's motives, once a source of comfort, now feel shrouded in mystery. The wild, Robbin realizes, is more than a test of survival. It's a labyrinth of secrets, each more puzzling than the last. Torn between hope and caution, Robbin must decide. Should he trust this old horse's words, or is the hidden truth something far darker than he could ever imagine? The forest air feels heavier as Robbin grazes near a clearing, his instincts sharp and senses alert. Suddenly a sound breaks the stillness. A rustle, then a faint crunch of leaves underfoot. Robbin freezes, his heart pounding, as a figure emerges from the shadows. It's a human. The man is rugged, his clothing worn, but there's something oddly familiar about him. Robbin's eyes widen as the man cautiously approaches, holding out his hand in a gesture of peace. The hunter's voice, calm yet laden with emotion, calls out, "Robbin, is that really you?" Robbin hesitates. The man's face stirs a distant memory, but doubt clouds his mind. Could this be his beloved owner, searching for him all this time? Or is it someone else, a stranger using familiarity to lure him into danger? The hunter steps closer, and Robbin takes a wary step back. The man's eyes soften, his voice trembling. "I thought I'd never see you again," he says, kneeling to show he means no harm. But something doesn't sit right. Why is the man armed? And if he truly knows Robbin, why hasn't he come sooner? Questions swirl in Robbin's mind. Torn between hope and fear, he must decide whether to trust this man or flee into the unknown once again. Is this the moment that changes everything? Or will trusting the wrong person seal Robbin's fate? The hunter's words hang in the air, heavy with emotion and mystery. "Your owner never stopped looking for you, Robbin," he says softly. Robbin's ears perk up at the mention of his owner. The hunter explains how the storm had torn apart not just the meadow, but lives too. Robbin's owner searched tirelessly, but circumstances, ones the hunter hesitates to explain, had kept him from venturing far into the wild. Robbin feels a flicker of hope, but also unease. If his owner was so determined to find him, why did it take so long? The hunter's story seems genuine, but there are gaps, pieces of the puzzle that don't fit. As the hunter speaks, his voice trembles with what seems like guilt. "I promised him I'd help," the hunter continues, his eyes glistening with unshed tears. "He never gave up on you, and neither have I." But the weight of his words raises new questions. What promise did this man make? What was strong enough to hold Robbin's owner back? Robbin is torn. The hunter's outstretched hand feels like a lifeline, but trust doesn't come easy after everything he's been through. Should he follow this man and risk betrayal, or rely on his instincts to find his owner on his own terms? The forest around them seems to hold its breath, waiting for Robbin's choice. Will this be the path that leads him back to his owner, or is it another twist in the journey filled with uncertainty and danger? Robbin hesitates but takes a deep breath and steps forward, choosing to trust the hunter. The man's presence feels both reassuring and nerve-wracking as doubt and hope battle within Robbin's heart. Together, they move through the dense wilderness, the hunter guiding the way with a steady hand and quiet determination. The forest seems endless, its shadows whispering doubts into Robbin's mind. The path is rough, and every sound in the underbrush feels like a threat. But as they press on, faint, familiar scents reach Robbin's nostrils. His heart begins to race. Could they truly be getting closer to home? The hunter points out a trail worn into the ground, a path that stirs memories in Robbin's mind. It's familiar yet distant, like a dream he's struggling to recall. As they walk further, the trees thin out, revealing glimpses of open meadows beyond. But with each step forward, the weight of uncertainty grows heavier. What if this isn't the way? What if this path leads to another dead end? Or worse, another loss? Robbin glances at the hunter, searching his face for answers. The man's expression is resolute, yet something about it seems haunted, as if he's hiding a secret that could change everything. The path ahead twists sharply, disappearing into a shadowy bend. Robbin stops, his hooves planted firmly on the ground. Is this truly the way home? Or is it leading him further into the unknown? As the hunter urges him on, Robbin's heart pounds with a mix of fear and fragile hope. What lies beyond the bend, reunion, or heartbreak? Just as Robbin and the hunter reach the final stretch of their journey, the sky darkens ominously. A chilling wind sweeps through the trees, and the air grows thick with the scent of rain. Robbin's ears prick up, instinctively sensing something terrible on the horizon. Before they can take another step, the storm arrives. Fierce, unrelenting, and far worse than the one that had torn them apart years ago. The winds howl like wild creatures, and torrents of rain blur the world around them. The once familiar trail disappears under the deluge, swallowed by the storm's fury. Robbin tries to stay close to the hunter, but the wind roars so loudly that his own thoughts become drowned out. In a moment of chaos, the hunter calls out to him, but the sound is lost in the howling wind. Suddenly, the storm's power sweeps Robbin away, lifting him from the earth as if he were nothing more than a leaf caught in the wind. He stumbles, his legs weak from exhaustion, and is torn from the hunter's grasp. The world spins as he's tossed through the wild storm, unable to find his bearings. Is this it? Will this storm claim him forever, or can Robbin find his strength once more? As the storm rages on, Robbin is alone again, just as he was after the first. The chaos is almost too much to bear. Memories of his past, of his owner, flood his mind. What if he never sees them again? What if this is the end of his journey? His survival instincts kick in, and with each gust of wind, he pushes forward, fighting for control, fighting for hope. Will Robbin survive this storm? Or is this the final blow to his already shattered world? Can he find his way back to the hunter? Or will he be lost once again in a world that has become his enemy? The question lingers in the wild air. Will Robbin find his strength, or has fate already decided his end? Exhausted, bruised, and battered from the storm's fury, Robbin stumbles forward through the drenched wilderness. The world feels impossibly heavy, his body weak, but the spark of hope still burns within him. As he trudges on, his heart aches, his mind filled with thoughts of the past, and yet he presses forward. He can't stop now, not when he's so close. Has the storm finally separated him from everything he's fought for, or is something waiting just beyond the horizon? Through the mist of the rain-soaked landscape, Robbin's eyes catch a glimpse of movement, a figure on the distant horizon. Could it be? His heart races. The figure becomes clearer, and with each step, Robbin's pulse quickens. Could it really be his owner? For so long, he's wondered if he would ever see the person who loved him again. The bond they once shared, a deep connection that never seemed to fade, resurfaces in a rush of memories. Robbin trots forward, faster and faster, each step bringing him closer to the one person who has haunted his dreams all these years. Finally, they lock eyes. Time seems to slow down as they meet, and in that moment, everything falls into place. The bond between them, once lost, now rekindled, is stronger than ever. It's not just a reunion, it's a miracle, a long-awaited moment that fills the air with undeniable warmth. But as the reunion unfolds, Robbin feels a pull inside him, a strange sensation that he can't quite explain. The wild, the forest, the call of freedom, it still lingers. Is he truly ready to go back to the life he once knew? Or has the wilderness changed him too much? His owner, too, has changed. His face bears the marks of time, and his eyes hold secrets of a life that's been lived without Robbin. How has he adapted to the years without his beloved horse? What happens next? Will Robbin stay with his owner, the person who's never given up hope? Or will the wild call to him once again? Will he find a place in this world where he truly belongs? Or is he forever torn between two worlds? The reunion is just the beginning of a new chapter. But the real question is, what comes after the reunion?